Hey, what's up, traders? This is Josh Tracy with Forex Cheat Codes. We are going to be breaking down the US30, NAS100, and USD pair weekly fundamental analysis news outlook coming up for this week, July 1st through the 5th, 2024. All right, let's jump into it. Today is Sunday, so all of these news will be valid and pertinent starting tomorrow. So as we roll over to a new month, let's see what's going on. Looks like a lot of news in general coming out tomorrow overall. Let's see if we have any USD related on Forex Factory News. Okay, looks like we have 10 o'clock ISM manufacturing PMI coming in. That is not a huge piece of news overall, but one we definitely want to take a note of overall following the 9:30 open. That is not going to be a major impact overall, but it is still a piece of red folder news, so we definitely want to make a note of that overall, but that's not going to keep us off the charts. Just know that 30 minutes after that 9:30 open, we are going to have a little bit of volatility, so just be aware of that. Let's take a look at Tuesday. Again, most of these will be impacting, I'm going to be referencing US30 and NAS100, but also do affect USD pairs, Euro USD, USD JPY, things of that nature. So take that into consideration for your Forex pairs as well. So Tuesday, July 2nd, looking out for USD related news. This is a potentially big one here at 9:30. So we have the market open here at 9:30 with Fed Chair Powell speaks. So these are the type of things we definitely want to be looking out for overall. The one thing I will say, I think I've mentioned this before on a previous news video, is the type of Fed Chair Powell speaks news is really going to determine the quality of how strong the volatility is. So that is a major piece of red folder news, maybe top 5, if not the most impactful on days that is going to be impacting. But the one thing we want to be aware of is that, again, quality of that. So depending on what type of speech this is going to be, if you just speak at a normal convention, this is not really a big deal overall. But if this is an official United States press conference, that's going to change things. And typically you'll see very, very strong, often unpredictable volatility. And that's the type of thing that we typically want to stay away from the charts, especially relates to indexes, because those things go absolutely ballistic when that happens. So let's just dig a little bit further into that piece of news on Tuesday. This looks like description due to participate in a panel discussion. Okay, so this looks like more minor news. So again, this could either be a really big deal or not a big deal. This doesn't look to be an official press conference. Due to participate in a panel discussion titled Policy Panel at the ECB Forum on Central Banking in Sintra. So this still could potentially see some increased volatility coming off the close of the month into a brand new month. Monday, obviously the first of the month, Tuesday, the second of the month. But you're going to have the overlap of the actual 9:30 market open plus this piece of news. So this is going to be a much stronger 9:30 open, more so than usual. So let's just go ahead and be aware of that overall. I would probably consider this more medium grade red folder news to lower. If this was an official U.S. Treasury discussion, that would be a really big reason to stay off the charts. I definitely would not be trading anywhere around this in general. Let's say maybe like 9 to like 10 o'clock. Just seeing how volatility plays out in terms of positions. But generally speaking, once this discussion is over, you should be able to trade efficiently and not see anything too crazy, unless he's going to be saying something out of pocket. So typically these are things that, if you're into the news type of thing, just to pay attention to, keep an ear on. I don't recommend watching CNN every day, but this is actually news that matters, especially as traders. So maybe take a look at this if this is going to be published online. So just my 2 cents there. So we're also going to have JOLTS job openings. So a little bit of volatility there. That's not going to be a major piece of news there overall. So that's definitely more minor red folder news overall. And again, some of these I would almost consider more yellow folder news. that probably is more in that category, more minor. But we do have the 9:30 open, so I just expect a much stronger open than usual on Tuesday, and this is one of the reasons we actually look out for this. Pay attention to these fundamental news because this is volatility. We can predict ahead of time, so just be aware that 9:30 on Tuesday could be strong, and that 10 o'clock could see some additional volatility as well. But nothing to keep us off the charts overall on Tuesday. So let's take a look at Wednesday, the 3rd of July, as we approach the 4th. Lots of news this week in general. Typically, this is about a full page on any given day is about right for a full week, but these are actually taking up a full page overall just for a couple pieces of news or a couple days. So lots of news in general overall this upcoming week. So just take that information with you as you make your analysis for the week. So Wednesday, looking for USD news, USD rate folder. We have ADP non-farm employment change. This is usually a precursor to non-farm payroll rolling out on Friday, so I'm not as concerned about that piece of news. It's definitely going to be more minor in general, but what I do typically like to make just a mental note of that usually when you see this on Wednesday, the major piece of news you do want to look out for is going to be rolling out that Friday. So as we get into Friday, I'm expecting to see that non-farm payroll, which is going to be up there, top 3, top 5 in terms of majorly important red folder news are up there with Fed Chair Powell speaks with official press conference and CPI as well. So let's keep digging in this. 8:15 ADP non-farm employment change. Looks like we have 8:30 unemployment claims. This is slowly starting to creep up and be a bigger piece of news. We consider that more medium grade overall, especially as it relates to US30. NAS100, this didn't used to be a big deal at all a year or two ago when I was trading that more effectively. But I am starting to see some increased volatility with that, so I would bump that up to more medium grade red folder news. So definitely pay attention to that if you're trying to trade pre-market there between 8 and 8:30. Let's take a look. Additional pieces of news. ISM services PMI. Definitely more minor to mid-grade news as well there. But the quantity of news again is kind of creeping up here. Just a lot of news overall. This is going to be of major concern. So we definitely want to pay attention to. This is something that we want to pay major attention to. The FOMC meeting notes. Typically, you'll see much stronger movements in the market, and typically consolidation in the afternoon, mainly between about 12 to 2 when that rolls out. But definitely want to make a note of that, and probably do not want to be trading later in the day, because typically the market consolidates, seeing how that news kind of falls overall, whether it's positive or negative, and then you'll see spikes later in the afternoon basing the news off that. So that is definitely going to be a major piece of news here. So lots of news on Wednesday in general, 4 pieces of news. The most important of that 2 p.m., not 2 a.m. Piece of red folder news. So 12 to 2 p.m. definitely want to trade consolidation or stay out of the market in general. Before the news comes in, expect usually some high frequency trading. Following that up until market close, going into the market open on Thursday. So lots of news, lots of key news here as well. Thursday the 4th. Typically, it's a major U.S. holiday, so this is going to be a bank holiday here. Most of your brokers are probably closed early, so I would not recommend trading that day. Even though this is not a red folder piece of news, it probably should be, as there's basically, again, no volatility that day. So usually markets typically close between 11 and like 1 p.m. in the afternoon for U.S. brokers. It's not something I typically like to take unless there's a perfect position, and then I'm taking a small position at that right at the 9:30, and then just closing it for that day. So in general, probably just smart to take that day off. But that is a major piece of news there, because you're not going to see a lot of volatility in general um, than what you're expecting. So you're not going to see a lot of moves finish out or complete to their fullest due to the lack of moves and amount of traders in the market that day. So bank holiday, 4th of July. That being said, that's going to double down the impact on Friday. So again, lots of news this week, especially towards the end of the week here. We already mentioned it with the ADP non-farm employment change being a precursor to upcoming Friday news. So first of the month, we can always expect major news coming in overall. This is the one we want to be most concerned with. Typically, these are clustered together at the same time, but this is the one that typically we like to pay attention to. Non-farm employment change, otherwise known as non-farm payroll. Historically, this is the one that's going to create massive volatility right there with CPI. Fed Chair Powell speaks, and FOMC meeting notes and minutes. So we're seeing a lot of that news come through this week in general. So you're seeing pretty much everything but CPI. So the big 3 or 4 are coming this week. So a lot of key news overall. So there's a lot of news in general, but the ones that impact USD are pretty important. So it is important that we do this analysis. And again, this is stuff that we can expect every single week. And expected volatility as we're trading, so we can set our positions properly, set our stop losses properly, either get into positions expected to take profit at certain positions and times, but also to stay out of markets when we know this volatility is coming, so we can get into moves or stay out of them effectively. But either way, it's important to know that this stuff's coming in the charts to help our trading decisions and be more effective in general as traders. So let's just recap real quick. Monday, not a big deal. 10 o'clock ISM manufacturing PMI, just take a mental note of that. Fed Chair Powell speaks, expected a little bit stronger move at 9:30 in general out of the market open, but that's not enough to keep us off the charts due to that particular type. Again, that could go one of 2 ways. If there's an official announcement for the U.S. Treasury, that can be a big deal. But this does not look like it's a big deal overall. He's just on a panel. Probably will be chiming in on certain things or just sitting on the panel in general. But I would just pay attention to that in general. Just make a mental note. So it's probably still okay day to trade. Lots of minor to mid news in the morning on Wednesday. And then in the afternoon, you have FOMC meeting minutes. So expected volatility to be strong following that move in the afternoon. Expect low volatility on Thursday, and usually brokers again will close early. So if you're going to take a move, take the 9:30 and then don't take anything else because the markets will close early and stuff gets a little wonky. Usually between late open on Thursday into the open on Friday, and then Friday we've got that big boy move here with the non-farm payroll coming in. So before the market opens at 9:30, you can expect that move. So if you're a fan of news, this is a great week for you. If you're not a fan of news, definitely treat this with caution. The bigger days to pay attention to are really going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So expect volatility strong. Expect no volatility on Thursday, and expect strong volatility again on Friday. So that's the analysis and recap for this upcoming week. And good luck this week, traders.